Hello, hello. I'm just going to give everybody another couple of minutes to log on and get settled in. If you could just give me a thumbs up in the chat that you can hear me, that would be great. Awesome. Thanks, Cheryl. Okay, it is 2 minutes after 7. I am just going to get started. Because everybody's time is precious. Can everybody see my face at the bottom of the slides? Fantastic. Okay, I want you to be able to see me while I present because I do think that's important. All right, well, welcome to the Perimenopause 101, 4 essentials that every woman should know. This is so that you can get rid of the overwhelm and finally get symptom relief. So, thank you so much for spending the next 45 to 60 minutes with me. My name is Haley. For those of you that don't know me, I have owned my own business, a brick and mortar gym with my business partner Steve for the last decade. I am I've also been a women's health coach for that amount of time. I am a decaf coffee connoisseur. I stopped drinking caffeine a couple of years ago because it does not do well for my anxiety and for basically getting anything done. I just can't focus if I drink too much caffeine. And I am lip balm obsessed. I have lip balm in every bag, every room, every office, everywhere. I cannot live without it. And what I do is I help perimenopausal women get symptom relief without the overwhelm. So if you don't already, please feel free to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or check out my website. Wait, I hope you can see my photo there. So there's an easier way to get symptom relief. Through my decade-long coaching career, I've seen that women do not get the support that they deserve through perimenopause. So I dove into as many women's health courses and books as I could to change that. And now I coach perimenopausal women who want to feel less overwhelmed with learning new skills that they need to manage their symptoms. So I just want to start by making sure that you're in the right place before we go any further. If you're here and you want to start taking care of your body during perimenopause because hormone changes, of course, but you don't know where to start, you want to feel like you're doing enough for yourself, but no matter how hard you try, it feels like you're failing. You want to feel good in your clothes because you've invested in them, but you're feeling self-conscious about how your body's changed. You know you need to make protein, sleep, and stress reduction a priority, but you don't know how you're going to add more into your already full days. And you want to feel validated during your perimenopause experience, but your healthcare provider just keeps brushing you off. The last one is the most common thing that I hear from women. I got an email yesterday telling me that she's been to her healthcare provider and they just aren't listening to her and they keep trying to give her medication that she doesn't want or need. She is being Her symptoms and her concerns are being ignored. What you'll walk away with today, why it's time to start paying attention to what your body's telling you and how to use it for more effective symptom relief, how to start thinking about food in different ways now that we have fluctuating hormones and eventually a complete loss of estrogen, why self-care really means building resilience, and how to use it to support your hormones, nervous system, and long-term health, and why weightlifting is so important to your long-term health and that it doesn't have to be so overwhelming with the right approach. So I am first and foremost a programming coach. That's how I started this. I worked with clients one-on-one in my gym. And then I noticed that I could only work with about 30 to 40 people at a time. And I really wanted to be able to work with more women and have more of an impact. So before we begin, I want to do a pop quiz. So I want everybody to open their chat and get ready to answer these questions. Question number 1, true or false? Symptom tracking isn't necessary to get better help from your healthcare provider. Awesome. Question number 2, you should eat 30 grams of protein for breakfast every day, even on weekends. Question number 3, what should you focus on most during perimenopause? Sleep, supplements, walking 10,000 steps a day, eating at the right times, or understanding your body? And you can answer 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for that one. Hmm, very nice. Question number 4, what is the most effective way to build muscle mass? Walking, box jumps, eating protein, supplementing with creatine, or progressive overload? And again, answer 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for that one. And question number 5, true or false? Cardio is the best way to drop midsection weight during perimenopause. So by the end of this session, you will know the answers to all of these questions. And I'm going to do a spoiler alert here. Most of you already do, but we're going to elaborate on why. So today's presentation is about a skills-based approach being the easiest way to symptom relief. This is so you can ditch the overwhelm and feel like yourself again. So what is a skills-based approach? It means focusing on building the fundamentals that have cascading effects on your health so that you get real results and symptom relief. I talk about this all the time with the ladies that take my program. The cascading effects of the skills that you need to build in perimenopause are tenfold, and you'll find out why. So I want to start off with a couple of statistics. 79% of women say they're unprepared for perimenopause or they knew absolutely nothing about it. And I am here to change that. 72% of women who seek medical help for perimenopause say they were undertreated for their symptoms when they went to the doctor. So if you haven't started learning yet, or you're looking to learn, you're in the thick of it, you're already postmenopausal, everything you learn today is going to be applicable to your long-term health as a woman. So this is your path without the overwhelm. This is what I teach my clients and what works. I have used this for the last 10 years and really honed in on it for the last 5, and it has gotten my clients amazing results with symptom relief, losing body fat, and feeling like they can actually manage their lives. And that's huge. So we are looking at, and this is how this little lady on there, this is how I always talk about it. I talk about building skills, and I talk about them as a set of four. So we're going to look at body skills, food skills, resilience skills, and movement skills. So what does this look like in action? Waking up every morning knowing that you don't have to be perfect with protein, lifting weights, sleep, water, rest, supplements, stretching, walking, the list goes on and on. I hear a lot of women tell me that they constantly feel overwhelmed because they feel like they need to be doing so much in order to see results and get symptom relief. It looks like understanding that the skills you have built are doable, even during the most brain fog heavy, low energy, burning ball of rage in your chest days. I have these already. It's usually a few days before I get my period. I just don't understand why I have a white hot ball of rage in my chest. And I know it's because my hormones have shifted and are fluctuating compared to what they used to be when I was in my 20s. So this is very important to remember that there are skills that can be built to help manage these things, even on the days where you feel like everything, you hate everything, and you don't want to do anything. And it looks like seeing consistent results every week without feeling like you have to give up everything you love just to feel like yourself again. So continuing to search online using Dr. Google, Instagram, WebMD, it can be really overwhelming. So just yesterday, I was scrolling and started to notice that I was getting sucked into I think that I should start walking every day, tracking my food. I shouldn't eat carbs. Maybe I should, but not too many. I need to be lifting weights more, but maybe not too much because my nervous system can't handle it. And then I should order that supplement that I saw because it looks like it helps. And then I just thought, no, I had to click my phone off and say, even as a coach, I'm getting sucked into these things because people are so good at marketing that you're not doing enough. You're not consistent enough. There's so much conflicting advice out there. Like, well, somebody said that I should eat oats, but then the next person said that those are for horses, they're not for people. And then I keep scrolling and some woman popped up, maybe it was me, and said, "Oh, you should be tracking your symptoms every single day." But then the next person says that doesn't mean very much. It's a lot of effort for very little clarity on what you need to get symptom relief. So what does this look like in action? Continuing to rely on social media, Google, and doubling down on what used to work. You're going to be always second guessing whether you're doing the right things to help with your specific symptoms or just making your energy levels, brain fog, hot flashes, and body fat worse. You're going to be wondering why what you used to do isn't working anymore, and then doubling down on it because you think you're just not working hard enough. Guilty as charged. I have done that. Continuing to get conflicting advice on social media or getting prescribed another medication that you don't want because it doesn't help you feel like yourself again. It's just not working. I can definitely relate to, I just need to lift weights more, but my central nervous system is usually tapped. So adding more high intensity training is not going to help me. It's actually going to have the opposite effect. So these are your 4 steps to getting symptom relief without the overwhelm. So let's take a look at these 4 essentials that help you get symptom relief without too much of the online overwhelm. Number 1, body skills. It's time to understand your body, and this is what it means. We are tracking. We are tracking our symptoms. We are tracking our habits, our stress, our sleep, our mindset, and our recovery. Some of the most important things to track are your symptoms and how they are interrelated to the rest of these. Symptoms are usually interconnected as well. When one happens, it tends to make another one happen and then another one happen. So what we want to pay attention to when we're tracking our symptoms is the cause and effect. So is lack of sleep causing you anxiety? Is no movement yesterday making you feel bloated? Is your high stress causing you to have worse brain fog? Is your period starting and has that caused that white hot rage? So, what I want you to start doing is writing down your symptoms. It can be something as simple as a pen and paper. You are going to start with your 5 most common symptoms. You're going to scale them on a scale of 0 to 5. 0 means I did not have this symptom today. 5 means this is the worst it's ever been. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a look and make a column of cause and effect. When that symptom happened, what happened before that? Did you go out and have an alcoholic beverage the night before? Did you lack protein in your diet yesterday? Did you have to sit at your desk for 10 hours straight because you had a project due? What is causing that symptom to happen? And what's going to happen over time is you're going to start to notice patterns. We want to look at the patterns that happen so that we can look at how to either avoid or lessen the symptom. So, this cause and effect is a massive part of starting to understand what your symptoms mean for you. Every single woman's perimenopause experience is different. You may have similar symptoms, but you are going to have them affect your day-to-day life in different ways. So what we need to know is what that means for you specifically. And then by tracking, you have a track record of what used to be normal for you and how that's changed over time, which is invaluable information when you go to seek medical attention or help with hormone replacement therapy or estrogen cream, or if you choose to go on birth control again. So when we take a look at the symptom, this is my favorite part about what I do and how I help my clients. We take a look at the symptoms that you experience, and this is just one example because there are dozens of symptoms that can be experienced. But what we're looking at is what symptom have you experienced, like hot flashes or night sweats, and then what can we do down the line of skills that we're developing to help support the symptom in order for it to not be worse or maybe not happen or repeat itself again. So with hot flashes and night sweats, we want to take a nutrition focus, a sleep focus, a stress management focus, exercise, and pelvic floor. Pelvic floor is a large part of women's health and something that doesn't get talked about enough. So we want to include it here. So for hot flashes, we want to make sure we're doing cool trigger management. So we're reducing our spicy foods, our alcohol, our caffeine. We're adding phytoestrogen foods like soy and flaxseed can be very helpful. And because it helps to modulate heat responses. For sleep focus, we want to keep a cool bedroom, a consistent sleep schedule. Melatonin can support things like cherries can really help before bed because they have some melatonin in them. They have melatonin effects. I also highly recommend taking magnesium glycinate. This helps a lot with recovery and helping you stay asleep. We also want to make sure we're looking at stress management. The higher stress we are, the more of a response and a flush we can get of estrogen, which can cause hot flashes. So we want to look at breath work when the flash hits, progressive muscle relaxation to calm your nervous system. And then in terms of exercise focus, a light aerobic and resistance training can help improve your thermal regulation or how your body regulates its own heat. And we don't really want to be doing intense workout before bed because that can also cause hot flashes. And then in terms of pelvic floor, we want to maintain a normal pelvic floor tone. So what tone means is it's just like how you tone a muscle. Our pelvic floor is a series and layers, actually 3 layers of muscle. It can be too tight and it can be too loose. So we want to maintain a good amount of tone in our pelvic floor in order to provide good support. So next, under body skills, We want to understand what is happening. Body education is key. I don't want any of you walking around going, I have no idea what's happening and why, but man, this sucks. There's no more of that. We are all highly educated women. We are smart. We should know our bodies. You should know what your body is experiencing, and I want you to know a little bit about why. So, we need to understand that estrogen and progesterone rise and fall over a 4 to 10 year period, causing your symptoms. So, perimenopause can be up to 10 years for a lot of women and sometimes longer. Excuse me. Women can start experiencing symptoms as early as age 35, and most women tend to go into menopause when they turn 52. So from 35 to 52 is a really big range to experience symptoms and not understand what's going on. You also need to understand that estrogen is not in a straight decline. So when we talk about perimenopause, estrogen isn't just going down. We're not losing it all of a sudden. What's happening is we have a rise and fall of both estrogen and progesterone, and those communications get mixed up. We're supposed to have a beautiful, calm hormone feedback loop that works from the ovaries to the brain, and it's supposed to work very nicely month to month so that we have a cycle. So we cycle through estrogen when we want to ovulate, and then when we don't get pregnant, we end up having a period and we bleed. And that's when progesterone takes over to calm the body and soothe the body in order to start all over again. But what happens is that communication starts dropping off because we no longer have eggs or follicles to send that communication, or healthy young follicles to do so. So what happens is the body tries to compensate, but the ovaries have slowed down. And this is what creates those fluctuations. The brain's asking for more, so the ovaries push more. And we're like, whoa, we don't need that much. So then it slows down and it doesn't send enough. And that's where we get the rise and fall and fluctuations that cause our hot flashes, mood swings, bloating, because we have estrogen receptors everywhere in our body. Our entire body, almost all of our systems, need estrogen for support. And when we start to lose estrogen, which is kind of our get out of jail free card, we no longer have the support that's needed, which is why we rely so heavily on these skills to help us support our body, support our hormones or what's left of them, and make sure that we're warding off disease, losing muscle tissue, and making sure that we can function and stay independent for a very long time. The next skill is food skills. This one is a biggie. This is one of the toughest ones for most of my clients to wrap their head around and get into their day-to-day lives without feeling like it takes so much of their time. So perimenopause specific nutrition skills are what I focus on. We want to look at protein, fiber, carbohydrates, fats, and making sure that you're getting a good amount of all of them. We also want to take a look at food timing. So this is the answer to one of the questions. 30 grams of protein first thing in the morning is one of the skills that I work on with my clients immediately. We also want to start pairing our carbohydrates with protein source for blood sugar balance. Why do we want to do that? Estrogen is one of the hormones that helps us regulate our blood sugar. When we no longer have consistent estrogen, fluctuating estrogen, or complete lack thereof when we're postmenopausal, we do not have the support we need to manage blood sugar and insulin. This can lead to insulin resistance, which means our body doesn't produce the right amount of insulin to take care of our blood sugar, which leads to body fat gains. It can lead to diabetes, but I don't think most of you need to worry about that. That's a pretty extreme case. But we need to use our food to help regulate our blood sugar because it's connected to our brain health, our brain fog, our digestion. It helps with energy. It helps with muscle regulation, building, recovery. We need protein and we need to stabilize our blood sugar. And the biggest symptom of all is warding off belly fat. So, as we go through perimenopause, it is very common for women's body fat to redistribute to their stomach, hips, and thighs. Regulating your blood sugar is going to help reduce the risk of that happening and help regulate how much body fat your body actually hangs on to. So, what I like to use with my clients is a meal formula. Every single meal that they make, I want to make sure they have a protein, a fiber source, a fat, and something of color on their plate. Now, you might be thinking, Haley, carbs are missing. They're not, because I want your fiber to be your carbohydrate. Fiber is king. Actually, for this call, it is queen. We need fiber. Fiber helps not only with bloating and regulating your bowel movements, but it also helps the body rid itself of excess estrogen. When we have too much estrogen in our body, it can actually, it's usually excreted through our digestive tract. When we don't have enough fiber, what can happen is the body can reabsorb that estrogen, which can wreak havoc on hot flashes, brain fog, mood swings, etc. So why not double down on your fiber to help rid the body of the excess estrogen that it doesn't need that's just causing problems? So I did include here some 30 grams of breakfast ideas. So Greek yogurt, parfait with protein powder, omelet with cheese and turkey, cottage cheese and fruit, eggs and black bean breakfast burrito, tofu scramble, and chia seed protein pudding. I love making overnight oats, but we also have eggs every single morning with tons of veggies and some ham. That's how I usually get my protein in. Next, track your food. Now, I know most of you right now are probably cringing and going, Haley, no. I've tried this before. I hate it. It sucks. It's terrible. No. You need to understand what you're currently doing to find your gaps. This is what I work on with every single client, no matter what. So what we want to do is find a way to track food that you like. You can use a pen and paper or an app. I love to use Chirometer. I've also used MyFitnessPal. I love Chirometer because it's more comprehensive. It gives me my vitamins, my minerals, and my macronutrients. MyFitnessPal is great too, but good old pen and paper is perfect. We want to track for 7 days. Why 7? Because I can almost guarantee you that a lot of you eat a little bit different on the weekend. We don't just want to track the days that we're consistent. We want to track the days where we're a little bit inconsistent because our schedule changes. We get up at a different time. Maybe we eat a later breakfast and typically skip lunch and then have an afternoon snack. So I want you to understand what your food patterns are and then start by understanding your portions and your overall intake. My last group in my perimenopause program tracked their food for a week, and more than 65% of them didn't eat enough. We need calories when we get into perimenopause because our body thrives off of consistency and predictability. So what we do after we track for 7 days is we focus on filling in your gaps at each meal using the formula or the hand measurement method. The hand measurement method is incredible. I highly encourage you to use it if you don't want to weigh and measure your food. It's 85% effective, and it was developed by a nutrition group that we use at the gym all the time for coaching. So what we're looking at is a fist or two full of veggies at every meal, a thumb of fat. So that would be your liquid fats, and that's about a tablespoon. If we're looking at seeds and things like that, I usually say a single layer on the palm of your hand is about a serving. For carbohydrates, we're looking at a cupped hand or 2. If you're lifting weights, 2. That's about a quarter of a cup per hand. you need your carbohydrates if you're lifting weights, and about a palm size and thickness of protein on your plate at every single meal. Depending on the type of protein, the palm size can be between 25 and 50 grams of protein. If you ate a piece of steak about this size, excuse me, you're probably getting about 50 grams of protein, which is fabulous. You can also look at it as the formula. If this helps you remember better, protein plus fiber plus fat plus color equals a balanced meal. We want to make sure we have all of these ingredients at every meal so that we're not missing the essential macronutrients that help us reduce our symptoms and stay and our bodies feeling safe and consistent. Consistency with all of these skills is key to perimenopause symptom management. Next, we're looking at resilience skills. Now, I used to look at these as self-care, but everybody has a different version of self-care. And really, what we're trying to build is resilience in our body with a lack of hormone. So, what does this look like? And it is way more than just exercise and nutrition. And if I had to pick one, I would say that this is the most important out of all four. We want to look at recovery. So that's from workouts and stress. We want to look at our sleep, hydration, stress reduction, supplements to fill the gaps, not just to supplement because you think that it's going to help. We want to walk. We want to work on our mindset, and we do still want to do self-care. But this is different for everyone, so I leave that as a separate category. So for example, one of the resilience skills is sleep. We want to make this a priority because it's essential for regulating your mood and emotional stability. It reduces fatigue, hot flashes, and protects our body's ability to use food as fuel, otherwise known as your metabolic health. Perimenopause symptoms are interconnected. I've talked about this already. When one gets worse, the rest tend to follow. Sleep helps mitigate that, and it directly prevents the physical and emotional disruptions caused by fluctuating estrogen and progesterone levels. So this is a great example of how you've started to prioritize sleep. Look at the amazing cascading effects that this has throughout your entire day. You start to focus on eating protein and making sure you have a balanced plate. The cascading effects from that nutrition are going to be massive. So it's touching on more than just one thing. When you do focus on one thing every day, you are going to be improving so many other things throughout the day and your symptoms all at the same time. So how do we get a better sleep? We want to avoid watching TV, working, or playing video games in bed, and keep it as a no phone zone. We want to keep our bedroom dark or wear a sleep mask. We want to keep our room quiet, keep our bed comfortable. So if you think that your bed's the reason you're not getting a good sleep, if you can, go and get a new mattress. We don't want to have any alcohol before bed. Alcohol might help you fall asleep, but it's sure not going to help you get a good deep sleep or help you stay asleep. Also, when you consume alcohol, your body stops processing body fat and starts processing the ethanol and the alcohol, which means you're losing about a day of body fat reduction if that's your goal. We want to avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. and we want to keep the same sleep schedule even on the weekends. I know this is tough, but we want to make sure that we are building consistency with our sleep in order for it to help us in many areas of our life, including symptoms. Next example is stress reduction. We can no longer ignore this. As much as you'd like to, and as much as you think you don't have time or can't, we really can't ignore stress anymore. Perimenopause lowers our resistance to stress. We no longer have estrogen to help us, so our stress ability or our ability to handle stress goes down. So managing stress is key for symptom relief and our long-term health. So what I recommend to my clients and what we do together is we create a self-care menu that works for them if ever they're unsure what to do to take care of themselves. So you want to take many different categories and brainstorm some things that you like to do and that you're actually going to do to help manage your stress. This can include categories like movement, nutrition, and just general health. So is it going for a 20 to 30-minute walk? Is it strength training? Is it a yoga class? Are you dancing around your house to your favorite song? Are you focusing on protein for breakfast? Are you tracking your perimenopause symptoms? These are all ways to take care of your body and help reduce stress. Next and last is our movement skills. So this means it's more than just weightlifting. It's walking, it's neat, it's mobility, it's proper warm-ups and cool downs, it's enjoying your movement, and it's also regulating your nervous system. So weightlifting in perimenopause is non-negotiable. It is time, if you're not doing it already, please start now. You will not regret it. We have so many women between the ages of 65 and 85 that come to our gym that wish they had started sooner because they know that the benefits of doing it now have helped them, but they didn't realize how important it was in their mid 40s, late 30s, mid 50s. So when you're weightlifting, this is what I get all of my clients to focus on. We're focusing on full body movements first in every single workout. The reason we do those first is because we don't want to be tired when we do them. We want to make sure we're fresh, our nervous system is fresh, and we're able to move well. And then we do our single muscle movements after, like arm curls, tricep work, abs, etc. I get all of my ladies to work on glute strength. Reason being, we want really good, healthy knees and hips as we age. We want to avoid knee replacements, avoid hip replacements. We want to have really good balance. We want to have really good stability. Your glutes should be doing the majority of the work, not your quads. 90% of the women that I have assessed and worked with are quad dominant, which means their quads take over instead of their butt. This doesn't mean your butt doesn't work, because if your butt didn't work, you'd fall over, you wouldn't be able to walk. But focusing on glute strength ensures your knee and hip health into old age. This also helps ensure that your bone density stays strong. And when they test your bone density, they look at the head of your femur and your lower back or your spine. And by working on glute strength, it helps keep all of your joints nice and tight and keeps your bones healthy. So you want to do things like step ups, skipping, and jumping for bone health as well. Adding in some sort of movement like that to help maintain bone health and strength. We also want to add in tempo. So if you don't already, you're lifting weights and you go, what is that? I've never heard of tempo, Haley. I want you to start including it for control and safety. And if you've never lifted weights before, adding in tempo is a great way to ensure that you don't hurt yourself, you build properly, and you get the most out of every rep. So it'd be something like a 3-0-1-0 or a 2-1-X1. So if you're new and you've never used it before, I want you to use the first one. And what this looks like is 3, or the first number, is how fast you go down in the movement. So if we're doing a squat or a goblet squat with the weight out front, we're going to count to 3 on the way down. The second number is how long you hold at the bottom. So a 0 means that we're not pausing, but we're showing control at the bottom. The third number means how fast we come back up. So it's a 1, which means it's controlled, it's not quick. So we're coming up nice and controlled. And the last number means how long you hold at the top. So the second example is come down for a count of 2, hold for 1 at the bottom. X means fast or explode. When you're underweight, you can't really explode, but it's come back up as quickly as you can under the weight that you have. And then the last number, 1, is how long you hold at the top. Adding tempo is an incredible way to build muscle mass and an incredible way to build movement and make sure that you're safe. Next, we want to look at progressive overload. This was another one of the questions. What this means is week over week, you are challenging the same movement for about 6 weeks at a time, but you're increasing the weight every time you do it. So for example, we'll use the goblet squat again. You started week 1 body weight. You've never done it before. So you're going to use your 3010 tempo and perform all of your sets at body weight. Week 2, you're going to add 10 pounds. So we're going to add just a little bit of weight, keep the same tempo, and do that way for all 3 sets. If you're more advanced and you've lifted weights for a long time, let's say you're doing your goblet squat at 70 pounds. Week number 2, I want you to try to do 70 pounds for the first 2 sets and then 75 pounds for the last set. And you're just going to slowly build with that weight week over week. This ensures you are safe, but also ensures that you're building muscle tissue. We also want to focus on our bracing technique. We're going to go over how to brace really quickly here. And I always want you to make sure that you're working at about an 8 out of 10 effort based on the day. What that means is not every day's 8 out of 10 is going to be the same because symptoms, stress, kids, life. So we want to make sure that we're challenging ourselves appropriately so that you're not always using 10 pounds, 12 pounds. We really want you to start lifting heavier to get the right response from your body, especially if you're looking to lose body fat. This challenge is very important. So I want to take a minute and I want to go over how to brace with everybody. So I want you to sit wherever you are. I want you to sit up nice and tall. I want you to take your fingers like this, and you are going to put your thumb on the back of your ribs and your finger on the front of your ribs right by your belly button. So almost like you have your hands on your sides because you're mad. What I want you to do is breathe into your thumbs. So I want you to take a nice big belly breath and breathe into your thumbs. So you're using your diaphragm, not your chest. So we're going to go in, breathe into those thumbs, get them to move just a little bit with your breath, and then breathe out and let them release. When you breathe into your thumbs, what you're doing is you are using your 6-pack, your obliques, and your back to brace your core. This kind of bracing is the exact thing that I want you to use on every single rep that you do with like a goblet squat, a deadlift, anything that's taxing and heavy to the body. You can even use this when you're lifting heavy furniture. So that breathing in to all sides of your core helps you stabilize your spine and will reduce your back pain. So if you've ever been to the gym and you've done like a Romanian deadlift, a hinge movement, or a squat, and you're like, man, these always hurt my back. Every single time I do them, it doesn't matter what I do, it hurts. I want you to try this bracing technique. Big breath in all the way around, pushing on all sides of your stomach. Do your rep, come back up, and see if that pain is gone. Because what we want to do is we want to use our internal belt. When somebody weightlifts and puts a belt on, have you seen those people who lift incredible amounts of weight? We have 3 ladies at the gym that do this. They put on a weightlifting belt because it helps them press their core against it to provide additional stability. But before they're allowed to use those belts, they actually have to learn how to use their own internal belt to support as much weight as possible to make sure that they don't get hurt. So what I want you to practice is breathing into all sides of your core, performing your rep, and then breathing out. You can breathe out on the way up. Don't hold your breath. You will get dizzy. We don't want that. So big breath in before you start. Complete your rep. Breathe out on the way up. Sometimes it might be breathe out on the way down. It just depends where the movement starts. So the next movement skill is walking and neat. They are the most underutilized things for fat loss and symptom relief. Walking more often helps with symptoms like brain fog, stress, fatigue, bloating, and midsection weight gain. Neat which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or your micro movements throughout the day, really add up. NEAT is the best way to use calories, and it is way more effective than your time in the gym. Your time in the gym is still really important, but if fat loss and body composition is a goal, moving more throughout the day is queen. So, and it is also way easier to incorporate into your day than a structured workout can be. So this could be something as simple as taking the stairs instead of the elevator, park further away from the office, get outside more often when you can. Shoveling counts, gardening counts, playing with your kids count. We really want to move more throughout the day in order to maintain our body weight and manage our symptoms. So this is where I introduce you to the perimenopausal pursuit. This is the exact framework that we just went through. Body skills, food skills, resilience skills, and movement skills. It takes you from I'm doing everything I'm supposed to, but I still feel like I'm failing, to validation. This isn't a pass, fail, win, lose, or do or don't kind of thing anymore. This is the skills that you need for the rest of your life. So right now you might be thinking, sure, Haley, that sounds great, but I don't have time to work on everything every day. You only need 2 hours a week to start making change. I just finished my last group. They worked with me Monday nights at 7 p.m. We do a live call where we discuss everything together. We learn together. I answer questions. And then you need about an hour to work on things yourself. So when building skills for symptom relief, the goal isn't to change everything all at once. It's to learn new skills that we can stack onto what we already do. We're not reinventing your life, we're just optimizing it. That's how change becomes simple, sustainable, and realistic. And you might be wondering, nothing has worked for you in the past. How is this going to be any different? Especially if it's online and not in person. We stop skipping the fundamentals. That's what gets you results. Most programs promise to fix your symptoms, weight, and energy, but they skip the basics that actually work and that are actually sustainable. That's why we focus on skills that drive real long-term results. We understand your body, learn how to support its unique needs, and fuel for symptom relief. We're not chasing trends anymore. We are building what truly brings you results and relief. So I want to introduce you to Jessie. She's been one of my clients for years. She's a 45-year-old busy teacher navigating perimenopause. She came to me feeling overwhelmed. She tried everything. She's got PCOS. She was in perimenopause and she was really, really struggling. So with the evidence-based plan that I use, we focused on the foundations: nutrition, sleep, stress management, hydration, movement, and weightlifting, building them slowly and sustainably. And today she's lost over 20 pounds of body fat, and she knows exactly what to do when her symptoms flare up because she understands how to support her body's unique needs. So let's get some of the answers to the questions that we had at the beginning of the session. True or false? Symptom tracking isn't necessary to get more effective help from a healthcare provider. False. You now know that tracking your symptoms and understanding the patterns that you have is the best way and to arm yourself to go into your healthcare provider and say, look, this is not what it used to be. Something else that I highly recommend you do, it can be kind of hard. Some doctors don't want you to get a total blood work workup done. But if you can go and get one now or have an old one that you've done and then go get another one in 6 months from now, or if you have an old one, get a new one done sooner rather than later. If you can have something where you can compare the two, you can truly say, look, my hormones are different. This is different. The range of normal on blood work is very wide, but if you can show that you have a change, you're going to have more buy-in from your healthcare provider. that the same thing can happen if you track your symptoms. This is something that is very helpful. And if you do want to see somebody who will listen, go see a nurse practitioner because they're fantastic. We have two or three in my city, Regina, Saskatchewan, that are fantastic and specialize in perimenopause, and they would love for you to show up with hormone and symptom tracking. Number two, you should eat at least 30 grams of protein for breakfast every day, even on weekends. True. All of you got that one right. Number three, what should you focus on most during perimenopause? Almost all of you got this one right away. I thought this would trick at least somebody, but you need to understand your body. Sleep is great. Supplements are great for filling gaps. Walking is fantastic. There are some food timing things that we can talk about that I do talk about in my program, but understanding your body and its unique needs is essential to being able to target the areas that you need to work on. Number four, what is the most effective way to build muscle mass? Progressive overload. Most of you got that as well. Eating protein is essential, and supplementing with creatine is fantastic as well. I always recommend creatine to all my clients, but progressive overload is the best way to make sure that you are truly improving your muscle mass and taking care of your bone health. And number five, cardio is the best way to drop midsection weight. It is not. So high intensity cardio is not it's usually the opposite. It has the opposite effect. It's too much stress. You can't handle it anymore. We want to focus on weightlifting and walking. So I want you to use this knowledge to get symptom relief so that you can feel like yourself again. Just like my clients have used this knowledge, Carlin, Anna, Kim, Glennis, I have worked with dozens of women, and they've all said the same thing. They feel like they have control and the knowledge to be able to take care of themselves now because they have really focused in on this skill work. So when early perimenopause hit me, I started noticing changes when I turned 35. I felt exhausted, bloated, and out of control. And I tried my best to find answers online. And I had quite a bit of knowledge in health and fitness, but I knew that there wasn't the best approach and that nobody in our city was really doing anything perimenopause related. So that's when I decided to take a new approach to supporting my body. So I began reading every book, taking every course I could find, and listening to every podcast I could. Then I focused on building a foundation, testing the methods that I learned on myself and my clients, body skills, food skills, resilience skills, movement skills, and slowly my energy returned, my bloating disappeared, and I felt more like myself again. That's why I built this program, to help women get results without the overwhelm. So what would change for you if you knew exactly how your body works so you can manage your unique symptoms without Googling everything or getting vague answers? You knew exactly what to do when life gets too busy to focus on everything at once so you can stop feeling like you're failing. You're able to reduce your brain fog, feel like you could concentrate, and stop feeling embarrassed because you keep forgetting things all the time. You could get good night's sleep, wake up feeling rested, and reduce your night sweats for less laundry. You could feel validated in your perimenopause experience and get the support that you've been searching for but not finding. And you never had to visit the doctor unprepared again. Yes, this is possible. So would you rather always second guess whether you're doing the right things to help your specific symptoms or just making your energy, brain fog, hot flashes, and body fat worse? Wondering why what you used to do isn't working anymore, and then you just keep doubling down on it because you think you're just not working hard enough? Continue to get conflicting advice on social media and get prescribed another medication that you don't want because it doesn't help you feel like yourself again? Or would you rather wake up every morning knowing you don't have to be perfect with protein, lifting weights, sleeping, water intake, rest, supplements, stretching, walking, all the things that people keep telling us we need to be doing to see results and get symptom relief? Understand that the skills you have built are doable even during the most brain fog heavy, low energy, ball of burning rage in your chest days, and see consistent results every week without feeling like you have to give up on everything that you love just to feel like yourself again. So by now you've seen that if you want to start taking care of your body during perimenopause because hormone changes, you don't and you don't know where to start, if you want to feel like you're doing enough for yourself, but no matter how hard you try, you feel like you're failing, if you want to feel good in your clothes because you've invested in them and you're feeling self-conscious about how your body has changed, if you know you need to make protein, sleep, and stress reduction a priority, but you don't know how you're going to add more to your already full days, and if you want to feel validated in your perimenopause experience, but your healthcare provider just keeps brushing you off, then the mastering the pursuit skills is the answer. This is where symptom relief is your reality, so that you can ditch the overwhelm and feel like yourself again. So finally, this will give you the results that last. What we'll do is we'll dive into learning about your body, what it really needs during perimenopause so that you can take your symptoms, reduce them, and build skills for deep health. I'll show you how to nourish your body and how it can be easy by exploring what you're already doing and filling the gaps for symptom relief and long-term change. You're going to learn the non-negotiable resilience skills that improve your symptoms in a matter of days and take care of your body long term. I had ladies in my last program tell me they felt better on day 4. Day 4. I I knew it was coming, but I didn't think it would come that fast for some of them. They had joint pain reduction, they had brain fog reduction right away. They were sleeping better right away. Day 4. It was insane. And I'll show you how to move your body safely so that you can get metabolism building results that help you feel like yourself again. So my program builds skills for perimenopausal women, and it covers these 4 areas for symptom relief. It's 6 weeks of step-by-step content that guides you to long-lasting results. No more feeling like you're failing. And finally, less overwhelm. You get a 60-page workbook that's broken down into each week to help you follow along with video content, worksheets to help you track. I've taken care of all of that, and a guide that you can keep forever, and community support. So you get added into the Perimenopausal Pursuit private community. So if you've got questions, no matter what time of day or what you're doing, head to the community, go to the correct category, pop in your question, and I'm there to answer you within hours. And we meet weekly on live calls to chat. So you get to see me every single Monday night at 7 p.m. and we learn together and I answer your questions. We also learn from each other. My last group spent so much time. They all participated like crazy and we learned so much from one another. And everybody felt so supported and validated and less alone in their perimenopause experience, which was incredible. So to make your symptom relief even easier, I have some bonuses for you today. So I have a 30-day perimenopause nutrition guide. No more Googling, scrolling through meals and trying to find out what's going to be best for you. I've already included high fiber, high protein meal ideas to support your hormones. I've also included a mini course on how to use food tracking apps and macronutrients. This is a very complicated thing for a lot of people. This bonus gives you a clear, eye-opening look at how to track or not. There's a little bit of surprise in there and how meaningful it can be to your success and results. So what would it be worth to you to understand exactly what your body needs to get symptom relief, get rid of the online overwhelm and know exactly where to start, and stop feeling like nothing's working and you're failing all the time? Because right now, you can get my weekly go at your own pace videos, weekly guided weightlifting videos, digital workbook, 6 live coaching calls with me, access to the private online community, the 30-day perimenopause nutrition guide, and how to use tracking apps worth over $2,000. And I want you to remember, you get access to all of this forever. As research progresses and as I add information and videos, you have access forever. You can come back, you can work on it, you can ask me questions in the group chat forever. It doesn't end after 6 weeks. So this entire program and the bonuses today are a single investment of $9.97. But I've got something special for you because you came today and you showed up in person. This is for the go-getters and the action takers. I'm also going to include my bonus of pelvic floor foundations. So I've created another mini course to help you understand, support, and strengthen your pelvic floor in a way that actually makes sense. It's a mini program that breaks down your anatomy, the common dysfunctions you can experience during perimenopause, and the easy to follow exercises to help you feel more stable and in control of your body and your bladder. And I'm also including a 6-week perimenopause weightlifting program. So when you work with me at the gym, this is normally a $699 package. It's a fully guided weightlifting program. Yes, you do get full explanations of all of the exercises from me. I have recorded every single exercise and an explanation on how to do them all in detail. And it's focused on the perimenopausal must-haves, building muscle mass, keeping your bones strong, keeping you mobile, standing tall, and finally seeing the scale move. This program can be done at home, and I can make modifications based on the equipment that you have. Most of it is done with bands and dumbbells. There are no barbells included, so you do not need to have access to a full gym to complete this and see results. So my last ladies went through this program and said, this is the best thing ever. And one of them said, oh my goodness, the validation. This isn't pass fail. It's not win lose. It's information and skills for the rest of our lives. Donna said this program is a great way to arm yourself with what you need to be healthy now and as you age. Education about nutrition, pelvic floor, self-care, perimenopause, postmenopause, plus proper instruction for exercises and weight training. The best of everything. And Catherine said it best. She said, I thought I was well read, but I still had so much to learn. So she said, I thought I'd done all the research and I knew what I needed to know, but she learned so much for this program and how to continue to take care of herself long term without feeling overwhelmed. So you literally have nothing to lose today. I believe in this program and the value it provides, and I want you to feel confident too. So after 30 days of fully participating, working through the content, participating in the Monday calls, going through the weightlifting program. If you feel like you didn't learn anything, haven't noticed any improvements in your energy, mood, overall well-being, you can request a full refund. No gimmicks, no empty promises, just fair pricing and results-based guarantee. Because right now you're going to get my entire package plus the fast action bonuses worth over $3,000. And remember, you have access forever, support forever as much as you need and as long as you need it for $997 for a single investment payment, or you can do 2 payments over 2 months of $549. So this is what happens next once you register. You're going to click the link that I'm going to drop in the chat. I'm just going to take a minute to drop this in here. If it's going to let me. I don't think it will. I'm going to drop it as soon as I'm finished so that everybody has access to it. My notes thing won't let me copy it. So here's what's going to happen next. You're going to click the link that I'm going to drop in the chat. You're going to go to the enrollment page and choose your plan. You're going to immediately check your inbox for the welcome email. You're going to have access to everything right away. And you're going to log into the program library and get started. So these are the ladies that did my last program. They said it was incredible. It helped them through their perimenopause journey by understanding how to manage their symptoms while reaching their goals. They finally felt validated. They said that my guidance helped them make simple, sustainable changes that have had a huge impact on their energy, mood, and confidence, and that the support has made it much easier to navigate the changes of their hormones, energy, and mindset with confidence. So the entire program and bonuses today are only $997. So you're getting over $3,000 worth of value for only $997. And again, you have access to everything forever. I'm going to grab, let's see here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So now what I want you to do while I grab the link is I want you to let me know if you have any questions. Drop them in the chat. I'd be more than happy to answer, whether it's program related or you have questions about your perimenopause journey. Let me know, and I will do my best to answer as many as I possibly can. And there's the link to the sales page. The sales page is going to be open until Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. My next group starts March 9th. So if you register today or in the next couple of days, you're going to be in my next group, which starts on Monday night. If you can't make some of the Monday night calls, everything is recorded. I record absolutely everything and post it in the group chat so you can watch it later. If you have questions and you can't make the call, you can pop them in the chat and I will answer them on the call. If it's something super urgent, we can always hop on a private call together and I can answer your question. You can put it in the chat and I will do my best to answer it right away and give you resources and things like that. So I'm always available for extra help. Autumn, you mentioned adding magnesium something to your bedtime routine. Yes, magnesium glycinate is what you can add to your bedtime routine. There's 5 or 6 different kinds of magnesium. Most of them help you poop. They don't help you sleep. So be very careful. Don't waste your money on like citrate and stuff like that. Those aren't going to help you sleep. Magnesium glycinate is the one that you want to take. It helps calm your body, calm your muscles, calm your system so that you can get to sleep and stay asleep. It also helps with muscle recovery. So that's a great one to take before bed. Take the recommended dose on the bottle. 200 milligrams, I think, is what's recommended. You can take up to 4, but be careful because it can also cause diarrhea or gas. So just start slow and then build from there. Any other questions? Okay. If nobody has any more questions, thank you so much for coming. I so appreciate it. If you don't already, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I always post loads of information on perimenopause. I will definitely be sending Lindsay a link to your email to purchase if you're interested in joining the next group. I will also be sending out a link to this call. So if you couldn't attend and you want to watch, or if you had a friend that couldn't attend and wants to watch, I'll be sending it out an email so that they can watch it later. Yeah, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate everyone's time. And if you have any questions, just reply to any of my emails. I'm more than happy to answer, and I'm more than happy to jump on a one-on-one call if you want to chat more about my program and what that could mean for you. Okay, thank you.